Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. Ashley. I've got mosquitoes in my house. I think I just got bit by one. Anyway, this is a collective convo, which I haven't done in a while. And I'm probably going to be all over the place, and I think my child's probably going to interrupt too, because that's what he's kind of in the mood for right now. But I am sitting in thought about progress and about expectations of self and about external validation right now, and I want to share a couple things that I think could be beneficial to hear for folks. So this week I found a lot of old stuff in my shed from years ago, like 8 years, 10 years, 8, a long time. And one thing in particular that I shared on Awake, Bake, and Make was a flyer from an old training that I did around emotional mental health and de-escalation and knowing your rights within the mental health system. And as I was looking at that flyer, I was thinking about, I could not remember how many people came to that training. And I remember the work I did. I know I had a poster, and I left all of my work at the organization that I was doing that work at. I left them the binders and posters and stuff, because I was doing like 2 or 3 groups weekly. But this particular training was for like a mental health day, right? And so I just wanted to put this here because as I'm sitting there thinking, I want to say a couple things. Last year, or the couple of years that I was doing like the community mental health group, a lot of people are going to root for you to fail, quite frankly. A lot of people are going to root for things to not work out because people are not happy with where they're at. So first and foremost, there's that. But as I was sitting here thinking about, I was trying to remember who came to that training. I was like, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you showed up and you did the training and you put the materials together. And so I just want you to know that. And same with like the community art space. A lot of people didn't show up. I showed up, and so I just want this to be known, years later, when you're looking back at stuff, it's not going to matter who was there. You're not even going to remember who was there. You're going to remember what you did. You're going to remember your own integrity. You're going to remember the impact and intention that you had around doing something. What other people took away from it, or even if they participated, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you did something that contributed to humanity, to society, to the environment, whatever it is in your field. So don't get hung up on how it's received or perceived, right? Don't get hung up on if people are supportive of you or not. The main objective is that you are doing it because you know it's something that you either want to do or you should do, or it's the right thing to do. Just show up, just do it, right? And it got me thinking, and I think it's alleviated a lot of, oh god, this mosquito bite is like so harsh right now. It's alleviated a lot of stress and perfectionism just this week for me. And like yesterday at our, get out of this space. I don't want you in this space. No. You're not going to fit in the 6 inches between me and my workspace. No. So yesterday, like half the class didn't show up, and instead of taking it personally like I would have done as a previous people pleaser, I'm like, you know what? It's the last week of summer. Like literally, some of the students had already started in the town over last minute vacations. I'm like, this isn't personal. It's just something that I offered, and it was offered, and the people who did show up enjoyed it. They had so much fun. And so that's the thing. Not every space is going to be filled to the brim. That doesn't mean you're not successful. Not everyone is going to enjoy your posts or like your stuff. I look at my analytics all the time. Nobody likes my shit, but people are seeing it. I know that. I didn't even know that Instagram had analytics like that. And I don't post my Instagram, like the people I'm actually connected to on Instagram up until about 2 years ago when I started following everyone in Palestine, are people from my past, like legit, like 15, 20, more than that years ago, right? People I don't talk to anymore. But I recognize that that profile is for educational purposes for that audience. Versus over here on YouTube, people are finding me who like what I'm making. That's a very different platform. So I just want to put this here. What happened? Give me one sec. Broke the cabinet door, or the cupboard door. Again. It's a very old house, very old kitchen cupboards, but now thinks they are seats, and I tell him all the time, you're too big for that, don't do it, but we don't listen. So anyway, just don't let anything get in your way. Don't get hung up on how people are going to receive you. It's none of your business what people think about you. When you step into your purpose, when you step into your calling, when you step into, rooting your vision into this plane of existence, especially as a renegade or someone who is doing things differently because things need to be done differently, there's a lot of people who are not going to like that or take it with, grace. People are going to fight you on that. That's what we talk about all the time in these readings, is about like the crabs in the barrel wanting to pull you back down because they never allowed themselves to get that far, right? Very Five of Wands energy, which came out in that like tiny readings that I did last night about home. But yeah, I just wanted to put this here. I'm very proud of the work that I've done, regardless of who's been in my physical vicinity. I think that sometimes we want to have, I know for me, I want to have a large impact. I feel like Princess Mia and that conversation between her and Lily in Princess Diaries, the first one, when Lily says, like, you have this platform, like, you don't know what it's like to want to be heard, but no one's listening, or something like that. And I think about that a lot because sometimes, especially within this society pressure, content creation, if you don't have this many likes, if you don't have this many whatever, it's just like the quantitative, right? That constant measuring of effort is very capitalist based, right? It's not human nature. It's based within this false matrix. And so I just want to get on here and remind you, anytime you're feeling like you're stepping outside of your own vision or your own energy to try and please others or make a point or whatever it is for you, in a few years you're not going to remember who came, but you will remember your efforts, and I hope this helps. Just keep doing it, right? I mean, especially if you, that part of Eat, Pray, Love in the very end, when she's like, if you choose to see every person that comes across your path as a teacher on your journey, it gives you this ability to really release outside expectations of yourself, right? So like the kids in my art class taught me just as much as I taught them, right? And when we approach life like that, you can breathe. It's a lot less pressure. To recognize that we're all just here, doing our thing, and when we come across people, it can be this beautiful tapestry of experiences, of learning, right? But yeah, don't let outside sources try to take you out of